Joel Penhorwood here for the Ohio AgNet. It's a beautiful day out here at Highbanks Metro Park, and we're out here for a unique event learning about the sciences in agriculture. This GrowNextGen video brought to you in part by the Ohio Soybean Council, powered by Ohio soybean farmers, again, and their checkoff. And joining me right now, Jeff Jostpille. He is a science teacher at Fort Jennings Schools and covers a wide range of grade levels. And Jeff, thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome.
Jeff, not only involved in the GrowNextGen side of things, but also in the Feed the World collaboration, and a special collaboration going on here today, not only from the Ohio Soybean Council, but Ohio Corn and Wheat. First of all, what are we doing out here today in this beautiful area?
Well, we are discussing soil and water and how they relate to agriculture and the farming of our crops, our commodity crops, and what we can do to protect both of those resources that we have and to grow corn and soy in America.
And as we'll talk a little bit more about exactly what we're getting into there, who's the audience here? Who's joining us?
Okay, we have teachers from all across the state, from northern areas along Lake Erie to the Cincinnati area down south. They are junior high teachers. They are high school teachers in biology and chemistry. We have some ag science teachers here, and we have a college professor here too.
A wide range of folks, but ideally, it sounds like hoping to take away more of the sciences behind soil, water, things impacting agriculture really directly.
Yeah, and to use those things in the regular science classroom. They're not necessarily designed just for ag classrooms at all. They're designed for chemistry classrooms, they're designed for environmental science classrooms and biology classrooms, and they can be used at either the junior high level or the high school level.
And I kind of came in here today mid-lesson and saw some really cool things, whether regarding soil and its penetration of water through that, how much clay, all kinds of good stuff. What are we learning?
Okay, for soil, what we've been doing is texture tests this morning some. We have done the ribboning test where you use moisture and form a ball of soil so that you can feel the texture, which would be the clay, the sand, and the silt in the soil. And we talked about how that composition is going to build the structure of soil. And we did a structure test called the slake test where we put natural conglomerates of soil, chunks of soil, submerged them in water, and then seeing how quickly they either held together or fell apart. And we're looking for a good structure. So for example, we had a no-till soybean field, and we had an alfalfa field that has been in alfalfa for 4 years, and they barely moved. The water was able to penetrate through them. There were air spaces, there were biological openings like from worms and things, and the soil held together naturally. And we had some soil that has been conventionally tilled for several times, and it pretty much fell apart. And the goal there would be that we're trying to keep that whole ecosystem, that whole biome that soil is together with all the glues called glomalin that the fungus makes, all of the microbiology, the bacteria, the algae cells, the texture, all coming together to form that particular structure and try to keep it that way because it's a living ecosystem.
So many aspects, so many things you can just go further and further in. What an exciting thing to learn about and then be able to pass along to your students.
Definitely.
Why is it important for students who may not have a future, say, in an agricultural career, but to be learning about topics that are really first and foremost put to use every day in agriculture?
Well, the first thing comes to my mind is we want them to have an agricultural career. There's so many things that are tied to agriculture. It doesn't have to be the person that's actually planting and harvesting the crops. It can be anywhere from designing the machinery that we use, working with the technology of developing seeds and new genetics, to the food processing industry. But that comes to the second point. We all eat and we all need food. So many are disconnected now from the farm because we don't have everybody having a small farm and, a couple of livestock pieces and so forth. We've let only certain farmers do that now, those bigger farmers. And so it's still food production. We all need it, and everybody should know where it's coming from because they do have a stake in it.
I also hear you're going to be heading down to the creek here in a little bit.
This afternoon we're going to focus on water quality, and one of the things we do for water quality is we look at the living creatures in the water. If we have a lot of biodiversity, a lot of life that we find, then we realize that that quality is probably pretty high. So they will do something called kick seining, where they will go out into the water with a net, usually use a 3x3 foot net, and one person kicks up the sediment and the rocks and washes the rocks, and the other person's holding the net to scoop up anything that they're collecting. Then you go back to shore, maybe you put it on a white tablecloth or sheet or something like that, and you start to look for what you have. And a lot of what you find, well, they're all macroinvertebrates, okay, but you look for a lot of insect larvae. And different species require different amounts of oxygen and different quality to the water. Something like a leech can live in almost any kind of water. So if you find him, you're like, well, I don't really know much. But if you find something like a mayfly nymph or a dragonfly nymph, then you know that that water has to be a higher quality or they would not be able to survive in that water. So we'll see what we find.
And vice versa, the lack of those can also present you with some other questions going, what's going on in this ecosystem?
And then you might do some chemical testing, which we're going to do inside the shelter house here. We're going to test for things like dissolved oxygen and phosphorus and potassium and nitrogen, things that we know come from fertilizers, from lawns and golf courses, along with farms, and see what kind of combination we have of the chemical tests and the biological tests, and then rate this water.
And I can tell you, as somebody who, I remember in 4th grade going out to the local river, Mad River, doing this exact test, and I remember, finding all kinds of macroinvertebrates, but a water penny, which is something that you wish you could find, and we did, and it was just a great moment. But that sticks with you, and it's being able to educate the educator to take that back to their classroom. Very exciting, and you're doing that through GrowNextGen as well as Feed the World.
Yeah, both programs deal with looking at water quality and soil health, because it doesn't matter what you're growing, be it corn, be it soy, you still need many of the same characteristics. You have to have that water source, and you don't want to pollute the water that's coming off of your fields. Plus, you need that quality soil and the management practices in order to make sure that that crop grows well, no matter what the crop might be. So yeah, both organizations have a stake in knowing and keeping soil and water healthy.
Teachers watching this saying, hey, that sounds like something I would love to put to use in my classroom. What would you tell them?
First of all, go online. You can go to both websites for Feed the World and Grow Next Generation, and there are free lessons to download. They're written by teachers for teachers. They're approved for the standards of the state, or even nationally with the national standards. And there will also be opportunities then you will see for these kinds of workshops and seminars. And we go to conferences like Science Teacher Association conferences and so forth, where you can learn more maybe through a workshop, and also meet us and find out more about the programs and where we could meet up with you and do some kind of workshop.
An exciting time, lots of opportunities and lots to learn, and that's what we're doing out here at Highbanks Metro Park. And joining us, Jeff Jostpille. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure takes that back to his students at Fort Jennings School. But we're out here, again, at Highbanks Metro Park talking soil and water quality, educating the educator, thanks to GrowNextGen, as well as their unique partnership with Feed the World at today's event. I'm Penhorwood for the Ohio AgNet. Jeff, thank you.
Thank you.